Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to cover web forms. Before we begin, I just want to mention that we are going to show you few ways collecting information from web pages. One of them will be web forms. We are also going to show you how to collect information using Zoho Forms, which is a different application than CRM, and in combination with PageSense, that can be a better solution than Zoho CRM Web Forms. If you do want to stay with Zoho CRM Web Forms, that's okay. There is no problem. But just so you know, I'm going to show you another, or Carol is going to show you another option that eventually, with PageSense, it's going to be more powerful than that. But in any case, let's dive into it, and I will show you the two options. So this is option number one in this lesson. In order to create a web form, and the idea is to have a contact page that will be here, I created a small Zoho Sites, which is part of Zoho One. It's a basic website generator like Wix and all the other options. My goal is to have somewhere here a small form that people can fill. The same way that we have on our Contact Us on our website, you have here a Contact Us, and people can submit it. Let's go first of all to Settings, and then let's search for Web Forms. If you have the other version, which looks like that you will have on the left side, you will have the navigation. You will click on Setup on the bottom, and then you will click here and look for Web Forms. As you can see, it's identical. So let's begin with our setup. I will go to create a new form. I will give it a name. So let's say Contact Us. And then I will select the Leads module. So the idea is that whenever someone is filling the form, that will be created as a new lead. Very common question is, why do we need contacts, vendor, cases? No one is using them because a lead goes to the leads. Makes sense. But sometimes you will have forms, and those forms will go to the CRM as something else. For example, if I will have a page for people to apply as new vendors, then the form will be for vendors, and then it will go to the vendors modules, not the leads module. If you will have a case, which is like a problem, you can use cases. If you have, let's say, someone that wants to be added as a new contact, then it goes here. But 90% of the time, probably leads will be the place that you want the leads to go to. And let's click on Create. At the moment, you can see only last name is showing as the only field because last name is the only mandatory field. Sometimes people are playing with their system and they don't know what they're doing, and they will select multiple mandatory fields. In that case, whenever you are trying to create a web form, you will have many fields here and you don't know what to do with it. If you will go to the setup, and then you will go to modules and fields, and then you will go to the leads, and then standard, you can see that only lead name is right now mandatory. But if, for example, I will click on the three dots and mark first name as required, and also email as required, and we'll click on Save. Let's refresh this page. Now you can see that all those fields becoming mandatory, and I don't have a way to remove them. So let's remove those again. And for the people that also wants to have last name as not mandatory, it's impossible because this is a mandatory system field that you cannot remove. Okay, let's click on Save. Let's reload the page again. And now only last name is here. So let's assume that I want to have a simple form. We'll call it, let's say, last name. You will have also first name. So it's all drag and drop, very simple to do. Email and phone. And I want phone to be before. And right now the button is submit and reset. If you want, you can click here. And instead of submit, you can change the name. For now, we'll keep it because I want to do A/B testing and show you more features. Okay, so let's assume that this is the form and I'm happy with it. Let's click on Next. Next, the system wants to know all the pages that this is located on. So I created already this page. I will click on view. This is the page URL. I am going to put it on the bottom of the page, somewhere here. So I will have here where it's located, and I click on add. And as you can see, you can add multiple pages if you want. Then there is a question, what will happen after submission? And after submission, most people will have a thank you page. And the reason is that they just want to say thank you for submitting the details. Or we'll have a small splash message. I don't want you to use any of those. This is for lazy people. And we need to track the information. I want you to use redirected to a custom URL, and you will have a thank you page. So I already created a thank you page in advance, and this is the thank you page. Not impressive, but it's a landing page. And whenever the information is going to be submitted, they will be forwarded to this address. So let's put it here. Now, people that are already doing marketing for a long time, they understand what I'm doing. It's very simple for them. For people that don't know what I'm doing, the idea later on, whenever we are going to go to learn PageSense, I want to track how many people starting the process, how many people filling the form, how many people abandoning the form, and how many people completing the form. In order to know how many people completing the form, I need to have a thank you page, and on this thank you page I will have a code that whenever people go to the thank you page, I know that they submitted the form. This is why we have this page. One more thing that I really like to have on the thank you page is to manage expectations. So when someone is submitting the form, it will say thank you very much. This is what will happen next. One, our assistant is going to give you a call, or our office is going to call you in the next 3 hours. We are working Monday to Friday, 9 to 6 p.m. Eastern Daytime. Manage expectation. Super important. So people won't think that you ignore them. So next, we have notification section. I would like to get an email to tell me that someone's submitting the form. You can also acknowledge the visitor with an email, which I will not do it right now. You can also integrate it with Sales IQ, which I will. And later on in the course, I will teach you about Sales IQ. And request for approval, I don't recommend you doing. Request for approval means that lead will come in, an administrator will need to approve the lead, and then it will go to your sales team. We are already in a problem that we are not fast enough connecting with leads. So now if you add one more layer of approval, that means that it will take the sales team much longer to connect with leads, and then you will lose most of them. So I prefer you not to do it. If you have a spam problem, and this is why you are thinking about it, there are other ways to mitigate the problem, which we'll talk about them later on. And let's click on save. At that point, you're getting the source code. You can see this is the only option. And whenever you're getting the source code, it's lots of jumble mumble that you don't need to know anything about. You have two options. Option number one is what we are going to do right now. And option number two is take this code, give it to your web developer, and your web developer can make something nice out of it. They know how to do it. So I will click on copy, we'll click on done, and now you can see that the contact us form is here. I will go to my Zoho Sites editor. I will click here and add a new section. The section will be, let's say, let's do an element, and the element will be code snippet. Okay, 1 second, add snippet. We'll call the snippet new contact us. The reason that you see code here is because I already recorded this lesson and the screen share was not working. So I'm doing it again. So I'm doing it from scratch. I'm creating a new code snippet, new contact us, and now I will just paste the same code that I had here. Okay, so it's just pasted. I click on OK. Right now in the preview mode, you won't see it. It will just say that there is a snippet. I will click on publish, and then I will refresh this page, scroll down, and you can see my beautiful form. So this is option number one, as I told you. If you look at my website, you can see that it looks nicer. You have here some wording, you have here some guy that's doing Zoho something, and you have the form on the right side. It's spaced, the form is nice, much better. Later on, Carol will show you how to create nicer forms like that, okay? But in any case, if you want to have something nice, you will need to have a website developer helping you with that. So you will give them this yucky code, the one that we saw before. So let's go again. So this blah of code, and they will know how to take that and make it as part of your design, a nice page. Let's go to the next phase, which is tracking the form. So if someone now will go here, will fill the details, and they will submit the form, they will be redirected to the thank you page. That's perfect. But there is a problem. So let's go to the lead system. And by the way, it takes about 10 to 15 seconds for the lead to show up in the leads. So if you don't see it immediately, relax. If you look at it, you can see a problem. The lead source was not captured. It's a problem because we do need to capture those lead sources. In order for us to capture it, we need to do a small modification on the form. So let's go to the form and let's click on edit. And I'm going to add another field named lead source. I will click on the settings and then I will click on mark as hidden field because I don't want people to see it. I just want the system to pre-fill it automatically. I do know that it's coming from the website. So I will mark website. I will click on save. I will click on next. The form URL is already here. We'll click on save. And now I will have new code. I will copy this code. We'll go to the website. We'll click on edit the snippet. I will remove it and I will just paste again and click on save and publish. And now, if I am going to submit the form, let's do Joe 1, Mo 1, and now whenever the lead is going to be created, it will come already with the lead source. Okay, so the lead source is website. Now, for people that want advanced things, when the lead is coming from anywhere, so let's assume that I have here my YouTube channel. So let's say YouTube Amazing Business Results, and we'll click on one of those videos. In the description, we have a bunch of links, and when someone clicks on the link, it will go to our website and will have some tracking links. You see UTM parameters, which I will also teach you how to do that. You can also have the lead source here, and then the lead source will come to the website. Your web developer will capture it, and when someone is filling the form on your website, so let's say here, it will capture the lead source and it will know that they came from YouTube. So step number one, someone from YouTube, for example, or Instagram, or Facebook, any lead source, they will click on a link. The link will have the parameter. It will look something like lead source. And that will be YouTube. Let's remove all the rest not to confuse you. So you have the URL, question mark, lead source equals YouTube. Your web developer will save it as a cookie in the computer, and you can show this lesson to your web developer. He will get it in a second, because it's very simple for web developers. He will keep it as a cookie. Whenever someone is filling the form, the lead source that is part of this page, and it's hidden, the lead source will be YouTube. Next, I want to show you the A/B testing. So let's say that we have this form on the website. Let's assume that I want to have different variations to see which one converts better. And you're probably asking yourself, what do you mean converts better? Sometimes you will have the word submit. Sometimes you will have the word request proposal. Sometimes you will have book an appointment. Sometimes you will have more fields, and you want to see which version converts better. Now I will show you how to create those versions. In order to create a new version, you will click on Create A/B Testing, and let's call it different color. I will select the form. Right now I have one. In the future you might have few, but I have one, so I will select it. And now you will have here the original form. This is what we currently have on the website. And you have the second variant. If you want to change something, I will change, for example, instead of submit, I will just have request the call and reset form. Those will be the only changes that I will do. It won't be color, let's say different call to action. So now I have those two. I will click on next. The system is asking me if I want to attribute 50% of the traffic to one form and the other 50% to the other form. I will say yes. I will have this experiment for 10 days. Okay, and it will notify me whenever the winner is selected. And what I also want to do, it's whenever there is a winner, I want the winner option to be the one that people will see all the time. So it might be the original, might be the variant. Okay, so that will give me the best conversion, and I will click on Start A/B Testing. So now we have the A/B testing on the top here. We have the web form over here. You can see how many people came, how many people dropped, how many people have a successful conversion. We'll show you how to do all that also with PageSense, which is a little bit better system than here. Eventually, I will not be able to show you now because the system will show all the time this version. So it will show the same version all the time. But if you will come from a different computer with different IP address and different cookie, it will show you different variants. But whenever you see one variant, that's what you will see all the time. So this is how you are doing that. So in this lesson, I showed you how to create a web form, how to install a web form on Zoho site, but you can do this exactly the same thing on WordPress or any other system. If you want it to look good and juicy, you will need to have a web developer involved, because you will not be able to do it if you don't know how to do web. There is another option to do iframes, which will teach you how to do it in Zoho Forms. It's much simpler, but you won't be able to do much with an iframe. So I recommend you to do the HTML version, even if you need to spend a little bit of money to do it properly with a web developer. And I also teach you how to do A/B testing. In the next lesson, Carol is going to show you how to do exactly what we did here, but using a Zoho form. With the Zoho form, you will have multiple lessons. And the next lesson will be just how to create a form.